we're going to make our pins now. It's a lot easier if you put it in a vise. Peen one side of it before you put it through the handle, and then cut it off to fit, and so on. Got that bent just a little bit. Well, around a little bit. Now I've tapered the other end, makes it go through a little easier. There. Now we just cut off the excess and repeat. You just want to leave a little over 1/8 of an inch sticking out here. You don't need much. There, see? We'll lay that on the anvil and peen it over once we get the other. Okay, now we're ready to peen the end of these pins over. I've alternated them so that they're not all going the same exact in the same direction. Just gotta go slow and easy on this. If you get too rough with it, you can crack the handle, especially on bone like this. It's fairly brittle. As you peen these, the pin actually swells, so it's getting a grip on the handle material and swelling inside the hole that we drilled in that tang of this blade. All right, maybe I'll give this one just a little bit more. And this one too, I think. All right. Now all we got to do is file everything up smooth, and we'll be ready to do the poured end cap. Here we are with the pins in, all smoothed down. Everything's ready now for the poured pewter end cap. I filed it down just to see what it would look like without the end cap, but the end just doesn't look right, so which I kind of expected that. So next time I'll cut it down and do a poured pewter pommel on it. Okay, first thing we're going to have to do this morning is cut away some of this handle and prep it to pour our pewter pommel onto it. Got these two little holes here for the molten pewter to flow through. Cut a V into here, gives it somewhere to go, and let the handle help hold it. And I also poked a couple little pieces of an old leather glove down in here so that we don't have to fill this whole handle up when we start pouring. Next, we'll build a little form around this to hold the pewter when we pour it. Now it's very important on this to get your metal good and clean so that that will adhere to it. Alright, start with getting a bit of tape wrapped around the handle right here, and then our form will go around that. It's important that you make this a bit bigger than what you want the finished product to be, because you're not going to get a perfect pour. There's going to be wrinkles and spots that have to be filed out, so you got to give yourself a little extra meat to work with. Okay, we've got our form made now. I'll let you look in there. Like I say, it's important to make this bigger than what you actually need, so that when you're done removing all the little wrinkles and imperfections, you have what you want. It's also important when you start melting the pewter for this. My rule of thumb is melt whatever I think I need and then do about half again more. Because if you run out partway through the pour, there's no second chance. You'll have to cut and file away everything you did and start over. You can buy pewter from Amazon or different supply places. Or what I do is I just get good quality lead-free silver solder. The price works out about the same, and you can go down to your local hardware and buy it just about anywhere. Here we go. Got everything ready. After the pour, remember me saying to use plenty so you don't run short? I threw everything I had at it and came up just a little short, but we can still fix it. There's plenty of meat there, and I'll just take a little bit off of that end and work the sides a little bit, and it'll come out just fine. And sanding, this Bowie knife is almost finished. Here we get a good look at the pommel cap. Just need to put the edge on it and coat of true oil on the handle, and it'll be all done. We've got everything masked off, ready to put the true oil on. We'll leave it set overnight, and after it cures, I'll buff it with a little 4/0 steel wool. I just put this stuff on with my finger. Keeps you from having brush strokes in it like you get if you use a paintbrush. You don't have to does help to just put a protective coating on your handle. Also kind of puts a little shine to it. Just don't get it on too thick or you'll get runs. I got just a little bit too heavy on that first side here. You can use a little bit of acetone or charcoal lighter fluid to get the stuff off your finger. Well, we got the Bowie knife finished. Blade is forged from the leaf spring from an old buggy. The guard is a forge welded piece of an old horseshoe. If you look close, you can see a little lap there in the weld. Handle is from the leg bone of a black bear, and then the pommel is poured pewter. I think maybe one of my favorite knives that I've made. And yes, it is very sharp.